una persona que
A person who thinks only about building walls, wherever they may be, and not building bridges is not Christian.
The Pope is being told that Donald Trump is not a nice person, okay? Donald Trump is a very nice person, and I am a very nice person. And I'm a very good Christian, because the Pope said something to the effect that maybe Donald Trump isn't Christian, okay? And he's questioning my faith. I was very surprised to see it, but I am a Christian. I'm proud of it.
All right, the latest holy dust-up, but this one involving no other candidates versus Donald Trump, but the Pope versus Donald Trump, particularly on his very tough stance on dealing with illegals in this country and deporting them, shipping them back. They shouldn't be here. That sort of tough response getting the Pope's attention right now, saying that that isn't very Christian-like behavior. The political fallout from all of this with former presidential candidate Gary Bauer. Gary, what do you think?
How you doing, Neil? Great to be with you. Gosh, I don't, look, if Donald Trump had asked my advice, I would probably have said to him, avoid a dust-up with the Pope. I'm not sure there's a lot of upside to that.
But with conservatives in the party, though, Gary, there might be, right? I mean, they already wince a little bit and have chafed at the Pope's comments and the climate change debate. Whether warranted or not, they think that's political overreach. So they might be receptive to that. What do you think?
Yeah, Neil, it's a great point. I was just getting ready to say that, in all due respect to the Holy Father, America has done more for immigrants, legal and illegal, than any nation in the world. We have certainly done our fair share. And my gosh, Jesus loves hardworking taxpayers, too. And they're the ones that pay the price for our continued onslaught of illegal immigration. So maybe Donald Trump should avoid arguing with the Pope, and perhaps the Pope might want to stay on purely theological matters and not get injected into American politics.
Well, or he might want to pivot to the point you made that, in America, we are a country of immigrants, and we've done more to help those seeking security and liberty than any other country on earth. So that's a very good point, Gary. I didn't think of that. Now, you support...
Neil, it's, I got to tell you, I get irritated about... all these folks sitting in judgment of us from the United Nations on,
By the way, in the United
this country
Nations,
gets a bum rap, and our
seven
people,
of those
our citizens, our taxpayers.
Right. And 7 of those countries are the same ones reluctant to take in those refugees in their own neighborhood. So who are they to judge to sort of play off the Pope? But now you still support Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah, well, you think I'm going to bail out like in a couple of weeks? No, look, I think Ted Cruz is a great senator. I think he's taken on the Republican establishment in a good way, and appropriately so. He's pro-life, pro-family, believes in smaller government, lower taxes, strong foreign policy. What's not to like?
Well, he's obviously surging in the polls at the right time. And again, as you've reminded me in the past, polls can change, and the ones that matter are the ones on Election Day. But the argument is he's got to get that momentum and get a party to coalesce around him. Yet we're seeing signs that many in the party still have a problem with Ted Cruz, and they're more likely to gravitate to a Marco Rubio. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm going to point out the obvious, I guess. I think there's a whole lot of the party that does not want the front runner to get the nomination. And if you don't want Donald Trump to get the nomination, then the rest of the party is going to have to coalesce around somebody sooner rather than later. There's some polling data, including in a Wall Street Journal poll today, that one-on-one Ted Cruz would beat Donald Trump. And so we'll have to see what happens in South Carolina. I think we could get a couple more candidates dropping out, and I think the more that winnowing takes place, the more likely we are to get a clear outcome that the majority of the party would feel comfortable with.
All right. We'll watch it very closely, Gary. Very good seeing you again. Thank you for indulging us
Great to see you as always, Neil.
On these pontiff questions. Gary Bauer, the 2000 Republican presidential candidate. Well, we are going to